Hello dear all, welcome to our lesson. Today we are going to speak about one of the themes of ESP course, which will be devoted to the needs analysis. At the beginning, I would like to define the term. What is needs analysis itself? On your screen, you can see two different definitions. One is given by Nana and the other one by Brown. So how Nana defines needs analysis, it says it is a family of procedures for gathering information about learners and about communication tasks. But which I like most and prefer while giving explanation of this process, I like Brown's definition. He says that needs analysis is a process that establishes what and how of a course, which means it is a process that establishes what to teach and how to teach to the learners. As you can see on your screen, needs analysis can be the role of needs analysis in course design is very essential. When mostly there is a question that might occur, when should we conduct needs analysis? And mostly people say that needs analysis are usually conducted at the beginning of the course, like before starting the content of the course. It can be first or second lessons when teacher tries to identify what are her learners' needs. But it can be conducted, the place of needs analysis in this circle of course design can be in different ways. First of all, it can be at the first step, like before starting the course, as I have mentioned earlier. Then teachers can give different questionnaires or conduct interviews or conduct a kind of assignment or test to learn about their learners' needs and to consider these needs for developing and designing the course. Secondly, it can be an ongoing process that can go on during the whole course itself. Because every time after every lesson, your teacher will be reflecting on her teaching and learning process and reflecting on the materials that is essential for the learner, that is necessary for the learner, that the learner needs, or the materials that the learner doesn't need. And the last one, it can be after the course. So after conducting the course, as you can see, the cycle shows that needs analysis. After you do course design, you kind of develop your syllabus, you develop materials, and then teaching and learning process. This is about conducting the lessons, the whole learning process itself, and then assessment, which assess the learners' knowledge, their progress, and at the end there is evaluation, where you evaluate the whole course itself, how successful it was or not. And here on evaluation process, you one more time reflect on your needs analysis. Like after evaluating, you identify what are the needs that you should consider when you will be teaching the same course or the same learners ESP course again in the future. In the needs analysis process, we can come across with three notions. They are TSA, LSA, and PSA. These are types of needs analysis. TSA stands for Target Situational Analysis. LSA stands for Learning Situational Analysis. And PSA stands for Present Situational Analysis. So what do these terms refer to? Target situational analysis are more objective, they are perceived and product-oriented needs. These are the needs that teacher needs to consider while thinking about what are the learner's target situation. For example, if you are teaching students who are majoring in becoming an English teacher, their target situation will be to work at schools or at other educational places and to teach English. So in target situational analysis, you will analyze the needs that future English teacher will need in order to succeed or in order to perform in that position as an English teacher. It can be like methodology needs, or it can be the needs that skills that she will need in her target situation. The second one is learning situational analysis, and they are more subjective, they are felt, and they are process-oriented needs. These are the needs that key teacher can find out during the learning process, and they are subjective, they differ from learner to learner, they come out from learners. You cannot identify these needs before starting the course. You can identify it only during the learning process itself. For example, imagine that you are teaching the students who are going to be doctors, like medical institute students. And these students, their target situational needs will be, for example, to be able to write prescriptions. And while teaching this, you can find out that one of the learners, learner A, has a difficulty, doesn't know how to write a repetitive sentence, while others can learn. So this was her learning situational analysis that you could identify only in the process of learning. And these kind of needs, they are subjective, they come from every and single student. The third one, present situational analysis. Present situational analysis deals with current strengths and weaknesses of the learners, like what they are good at and what they are bad at the moment of learning, at the moment of the course. In the next slide, you can see 10 statements, 10 statements under the head of what you should do. You should identify to which situational analysis they refer. Under these headings, you should identify, classify them under the headings of TSA, LSA, and PSA. Well, let's look at these statements together and analyze them together. The first one, I need to see vocabulary written down. So what kind of learner need is it? What do you say? Right, you are. This is LSA, learning situational analysis, because this is the needs that comes from the learner, and it can be identified in the process of learning. The second one, I have occasional meetings with British colleagues. It goes for target situational analysis, because here you will identify the needs that he will be required once he starts working. And meeting British colleagues, this is the situations that can be seen in target situation. The third one, I find it difficult to write persuasively. So this refers to present situational analysis. Here we can see that the learner needs to work on her writing persuasively, and this is her lacking point. This is what she is bad at, or he is bad at. Fourth one, I pick things up by listening. So this is LSA. Most students confuse it with PSA, but remember that when the learner says I pick up things by listening, he's not saying that his strong side is this or not, but he's telling about her learning way. So this is about learning situational analysis. Fifth, student X needs to read more widely. It goes to target situational needs, that's why it refers to TSA. Six, I like problem solving. So this is again LSA, don't confuse it PS with PSA, because in order to make it PSA, to be considered to be PSA, it should have sounded like I'm good at problem solving. This is telling about the learner's preference, that she likes problem-solving activities, but it doesn't mean that she's good at it or bad at it. That's why it is LSA. I get my tenses mixed up. Right, you are. Here, this is PSA, because student clearly stating what is her weakness. That's why it refers to present situational needs. Next, I hate group work. This is again LSA. Hating doesn't mean that she's bad at it or doesn't mean that she's good at it, but this is about the present learning situation that comes from every single student, that comes in the process of learning. I have to write reports. This is the needs that will be required in the target situations. That's why it goes to TSA. My problem is finding the right word. Here it goes to the weakness of the learner, and that's why this can be considered as present situational analysis needs. When we speak about conducting needs analysis, we should consider that there are three main steps of conducting this process. First step is determining desired level of performance. And it tells what is your wanted level of performance. Like as a teacher, what do you want your learners to be at? So you want your learners to be at what level? So first of all, you should determine it as you should determine what is your desired level of performance, what you want from your learners to be able to do, to be able to produce or to be able to perform. And only next step is determining current level of performance. You should identify what is your learner's level now, what they are able to do now, what is their performance now. If you give it in the straight line, like the starting point will be current level of performance and the ending point will be desired level of performance that your learners should move from to. So first you will determine your aim desired level, then you will determine the current level of the learners. And the last but the most important part of conducting needs analysis is determining the cause of performance gap. Once you have identified current level of your learner's performance and desired level of your performance, of learner's performance, you should identify what is that gap that learners have, what is the reason of that gap, that learners have this gap in their knowledge. And in most cases, this is about this is about knowledge, language knowledge and skills, but not in all cases. Sometimes it can be a lack of motivation, sometimes it can be surrounding like environmental problems. So if the cause of this performance gap is this motivation, there is no need of conducting ESP course for that learner. For example, in my experience, in my tutoring experience, I had a student who was not interested in English, who didn't like English at all, and but her mother wanted her to learn it. So how much it didn't matter how much I taught her, there was no improvement from her side. Or imagine that director of a hotel came to you and asked you to organize an ESP course for the waiters of his hotel. So he wanted them to perform better in English and serve in English, have a high service in English. So you should, if the cause of gap, this performance gap, is being dismotivated, like if there is a waiter who doesn't like his job, who doesn't want to work here, but only working because he doesn't have any other option, the ESP course that you conduct will not give any success, will not give any fruit. So only if performance gap is about the cause of performance gap is connected with learning or skill, lack of knowledge and skill, only then teachers should think about designing ESP course for that learners. Only then this ESP course can be successful. This was all for today. I hope that you liked our lesson and see you in our next classes. Goodbye.